In this vlog, I'll be talking about AI Recursion Modelling, or ARM for short. Today, as we have seen, most AI deployments mirror the linear tools of business, automating routine tasks, summarizing emails, drafting proposals, generating reports, or providing one-off answers in Q&A. These uses are effective at delivering productivity gains, but keep AI trapped within existing frames. That's a critical blind spot for leaders, because the biggest strategic shifts often emerge outside established models, as we are seeing with increasing investments in large-scale AI through Anthropic and DeepMind. Yet AI does hold the capacity to deliver greater strategic value if we invest in the right way and with the right people. The key, then, is not to use AI for Q&A style engagement alone, but to utilize its full cognitive potential through recursive dialogue, as if it were another cognitive system. And importantly here, recursion does not imply autonomous self-improvement by machines. It refers to structured human AI feedback loops where exploration, interpretation, and reframing co-evolve. This is what I call AI recursive modelling, ARM, a specific method of structured recursive dialogue applied before hypotheses are fixed. And recursive dialogue is not new. Human cultures have long used dialogic recursion, from Talmudic study and the Socratic method to Lennon-McCartney co-songwriting, devil's advocate brainstorming, and jazz improvisation. In cognitive neuroscience, recursion is also a commonly theorized feature of intelligent systems, human perception and reasoning operating through continuous self-referencing loops. Predictions about the world are generated, tested against sensory input, and then used to update the next round of predictions. Indeed, Carl Friston's predictive processing and free energy frameworks describe the brain as a Bayesian engine that minimizes surprise through recursive inference, each cycle reducing uncertainty by learning from modeling errors. Similarly, Douglas Hofstadter and Francisco Varela have argued that self-reflective strange loops underpin consciousness and adaptive learning. Even in biology and evolution, recursion is a fundamental process. And these are not claims of equivalence between brains and machines, but they're useful analogies for understanding how recursive sense-making works. In AI, recursion can also be enabled. Techniques such as iterative prompting, chain-of-thought reasoning, hypothesis generation, and multi-agent debate are early technical echoes. In fact, AI is especially well suited to this style of thinking because of its scale of knowledge, ability to explore adjacencies, and conversational interface, something that we see now in society with a number of people who are conversing with AI and some of the problems we see already with hallucination. When applied recursively then with humans, AI can become not just a tool, but a partner in strategic sense-making, helping executives surface weak signals, test emerging hypotheses, and navigate uncertainty with greater depth and speed. So what happens when we apply AI recursive modelling in practice? Well, it flips the logic of analysis. Now, rather than starting with fixed hypothesis and seeking confirmation, ARM turns the human AI loop into a discovery engine. Iteration between AI prediction and human reinterpretation, tightening the feedback between data, context, and meaning, enabling hybrid systems to generate genuinely new knowledge, not just faster pattern matching. In other words, we go from epistemic closure to surfacing through ideas and solutions via epistemic openness. And this isn't just a theoretical exercise. Recursive dialogue can be applied immediately across industries to tackle complex, ambiguous challenges that conventional tools struggle to address. The following examples illustrate how this approach might reframe strategic problems in different sectors by uncovering emergent value. For example, a bank asking what trust really means, how it's measured, and what signals indicate erosion. An insights team interrogating net promoter score, what it captures, where it fails, and what signals it misses. A healthcare organisation exploring what burnout truly is, how it manifests early, and what current metrics overlook. In these cases, ARM acts as the missing why behind the organisation's how, through its discovery engine, using recursion to interrogate concepts, finding paradoxes and unseen structures. Through cross-domain bridging, using recursion to connect different business silos of knowledge. And this is important. The failure sometimes of organisations to consider why is endemic, yet it is absolutely critical for us to start to interrogate and understand the why between those hows that we execute. Here then is a comparison of how recursive dialogue overcomes the limitations of traditional approaches. As we can see, one approach is chain of thought prompting. What does this do? In linear reasoning, it improves accuracy or coherence, but its limitations are it converges on a single answer and it doesn't surface contradictions. This is what I mean by epistemic closure. Recursive dialogue differs. It holds multiple hypotheses in tension, evolves ideas through iterative loops, epistemic openness. Scenario planning is another approach. What it does, it explores alternative futures through structured logic. The limitations, it's slow, resource intensive, and it's limited by the number of scenarios. In recursive dialogue, we can go through rapid iteration, looking at dozens of scenarios in hours, adaptively rather than in a fixed manner. Another approach, dashboards and KPIs. What it does, it monitors predefined metrics. Its limitations are locked into existing frames and misses emergent phenomena. Recursive dialogue, by contrast, questions the metrics themselves, explores what signals are hidden or misspecified. And finally, brainstorming. What it does, it generates ideas through group creativity. Its limitations can be prone to bias in the group, groupthink, or shallow iteration. By contrast, recursive dialogue differs in the fact that AI provides stamina, memory, conceptual breadth, and so that humans can curate and deepen the ideation through recursion. ARM, through its method of recursion, therefore enables 4 intertwined logics. Recursive logic, where each exchange feeds back into the system, shaping the next iteration. Abductive reasoning, instead of deduction, proving what must be true, or induction, generalizing from data, ARM generates the most plausible explanations under uncertainty. Evolutionary logic, where AI generates variations and humans select promising lines of thought, and both refined through iterative cycles, mirroring variation, selection, retention in biological evolution. Dialogical logic, where insight emerges in the interaction between human and AI, not in one agent alone. And I might add, those insights that we can evolve through that, I've seen this many times, often those that would never before been considered. Together then, these form a powerful sense-making engine, and also one that synthesizes exceptionally well, combining different forms of cross-domain thought to come up with a new synthesis. So it's ideas and that synthesis that becomes important. And crucially, when orchestrated correctly by a human, this approach can help disrupt organizational groupthink. Not because AI is neutral, but because it can act as a thinking partner without personal stake, holding alternative framings open, surfacing uncomfortable possibilities, and extending exploration beyond what human dynamics often allow in the moment. Finally, ARM is not a replacement for analytics or optimization. It operates upstream, where meaning, framing, and hypotheses are still fluid, and where the greatest strategic value is often found. That then is ARM, AI recursive modelling, its application through AI riffing, and fundamentally dependent on that human AI loop, fundamentally dependent therefore on great AI orchestration via humans who critically benefit from the recursion by a boost to their own creative thought as humans, uplifting our thinking processes, while also at an AI level, training AI to work with us as well, therefore enabling us to get the best out of the AI machine.